people really think it's a game out here, just laying down with any old person. You meet somebody the first day and you just, oh, they look good and you sleep with them. But at one point in time, we had campaigns like the Wrap It Up campaign. People was really definitely in the 80s, talking about the AIDS virus and, HIV. Well, in Atlanta,
Yeah, I'm a '80s baby. I remember first hearing about AIDS. It was terrifying. I was teenager, and you know, and I was uh, going to the Kingdom Hall with my mom studying. My mom was a Jehovah's Witness, so I was terrified. You know what I mean? And you know, it represented sin and foul life, and anti-homosexuality, and things of that nature. So it was like, yo, you could, when it first came out, you could kiss somebody and end up with AIDS and die, and so it was like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And you know it was a crazy time. It was a very crazy time.
had a woman that went and do some training down there. I want you to hear what this woman's told in the story as this sister's reading what was sent to her about what's going on in Atlanta in the area of HIV.
How I moved to Atlanta for a job and immediately became celibate after working in a clinic there. So I became certified at my new job for something with a higher title and pay. Now my goal was to be in another state for this job that I really wanted, but I had to go to Atlanta for 6 months to train. My first day on the job was not busy. It was steady, but nothing terrible. The next day, it was a lot of WIC patients, so it was busy. Then my third day, it was busy. So many men and women coming in, getting tested for everything. And most of them was either married or gay. And also, they wasn't even from Atlanta. They had just moved there. I want to say that. They literally was not even from Atlanta. They had relocated to Atlanta. So my trainer was the one who they came in to get their test results from.
Atlanta is a place where something like that could thrive, because most people from Atlanta are not originally from. Most people living in Atlanta are not from Atlanta. They're from different places, and so sometimes when people relocate, they're relocating for to hide out. They played themselves out. Nobody wanted to deal with them. Even burn them cats, chicks, dudes, or whatever. But sometimes, some people are not always looking for a better life or something new. They're sometimes running from things.
And I kid you not, I hadn't been there 2 weeks. She had told over 200 people they were positive for HIV. They kept a chart and a rough count, which was over 10,000 cases when I was there so far this year. Some were crying, mad. We even had to call the police because they would tear up the room from being so upset. And some, it was like they already knew, they just needed to confirm it. And had already been showing signs of having it.
Yeah, that got me thinking back, because I remember, back, I haven't had to take an AIDS test since I've been in Jamaica, but in America, it was like, every couple years, like at least every 2 years, you know what I mean? You wanted to take a HIV test, and, I just remember just like, praying, like when it's time to, cause they go, and they would swab your mouth, you know what I mean? And so you have to go back for the results, and going back for the results is like, yo, please let me, you know, if I'm just have, if I don't have AIDS, I'm only gonna sleep with two more women. You know what I mean? I just remember making that promise. You know what I'm saying? And I broke that promise too. You know what I'm saying? But it was real. It was definitely real at that time.
Some were sad because they were as young as 13. I mean, some 13-year-old girls was coming in there finding out they had HIV. I told myself, I will not date while I'm here, and I had ran into some very handsome men, but nope, I knew what I knew. I did my training, I stayed single, and got up out of there because Atlanta, y'all, it can't be a real place.
Now, just hearing that story, for me personally, it's like a horror film. I wouldn't want to fool with nobody anyway. I don't even understand a lot of people because I guess for me, I'm so much of when it comes to people touching me, like I'm also like a germaphobe, not like obsessive with it, but I can shake somebody's hand, sure. But when you actually getting close to me and actually touching me in certain ways, I don't like people touching me. I just really don't. And it's not that I feel like I'm better than anybody. Oh, don't touch me. No, no, no. I just don't know where people's hands been. I know what I do, but I don't know where people's hands been, right? And I keep respectful distance from people, and not and it's just what it is. I don't know, like you kissing up on people that you just met, you letting people touch you here, touch you there, you just met, and then now you really want to talk about the situation in Atlanta. I mean, let's go there, ladies. You know what it is in Atlanta, and unfortunately, some of you out there don't have a problem fooling with guys that play on both teams. You understand? There's a lot of bussy chasing that be happening out there in Atlanta. And there's a lot of things that be going on top of the situation. I need to do a deep dive on why it's like that in Atlanta, to be honest with you, because I just think that's interesting that particular city got more of that going on than, most other cities where a lot of black people are at. But regardless of what you're doing, you need to be careful. The best way I tell people to be careful is to practice a monogamous relationship. And if that relationship is not working out, just, move on with your life and get into another monogamous relationship. Listen, you can't just be laying down out here with everybody. Okay. It was never meant for you to do that. I don't care what wicked America tell you. I don't care what wicked America tell you about medications. Oh, get on PrEP, do this and do that. Listen, why you got to do all that? Just get in a committed relationship, preferably be married to your husband, be married to your wife. Y'all, sleep with each other and keep it like that. And you won't have no problems.
Yo, that's real talk. It's a lifestyle. We weren't here to be, promiscuous, men or women. So there's always going to be a penalty or reward for our ways and actions. But I'm not gonna preach. Just be careful out there. But this brother made a lot of sense about getting into a serious relationship with one person, and exploring that, because it's crazy out here. And I've lost some friends, dear friends, and it's real. Cats just once they start getting sick with that disease, they fall off fast. Especially back in the days, like in the 80s and 90s, like somebody get caught with that, like they're not gonna be around for a year or two. Once they start getting sick. Like right now, people have it and they say they can live 15. I know someone who has had it for 15, maybe 20 years, probably 25 years, and they're getting around, living a life, but it's a serious thing that So just please be careful out there. Love, peace, and happiness.
Hey, G-Man!
I'm the real one. Him in the south side, and the chop side.
Hey, GB!
What the pre? Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Friend forsake we no mind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Them sell we out fi dollar kind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Them a watch if man a dial, while father watch me troubles and me trial. We see them a work fi fuck up get our youth job. Watch a one day we be vial. Me say, oh father please guide my steps. For the food look how hard we sweat. No make wicked people triumph over we. Them when we crash and broke we neck. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Friend forsake we no mind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Them sell we out fi dollar kind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Shop road fi the money if you ask me, but no man can touch me fi vaccine. Can't carry me uptown, downtown, round town. Car mad go point out axi. Certain man can't ask me when me a chop road, not even cops see me. Through the valley of the shadow of death. Fuck all a who wish board box see me. You see me? Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Friend forsake we no mind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Them sell we out fi dollar kind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Want fi see them climb, bumbo hole. Want fi see me drop the pussy them. Want fi see them reach, but them want see me way back. Let me tell you this, Saja watch over me. Them crucify me like nobody. Me a go rise to the top, make haters say. Me a go rise to the top, make haters say. Tell haters say. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Friend forsake we no mind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. Things go through we head sometimes. Fuck up we met sometimes. Them sell we out fi dollar kind fi defeat the undefeatable them trying. P Funk City G.